doing butts and guts today. You will need a looped band for this workout, but not immediately. So just have that close by. We're gonna start by crossing over at the hip, right and left. So loosening up through the SI joint, through the piriformis muscle, right from the very beginning. Feel free to hang on to furniture if you need that extra balance, just to get that crossover in that squat. This works fine from a chair too if you needed to, but just try to get a little further into it each time. We'll go one more on each side. And then with the feet wide, we're gonna alternate touching the floor and then reaching for the sky. Touching the floor, reaching for the sky. Cross, up. So a nice big stretch through the inner thigh. We're loosening up through the hips here. Keep the feet turned in just slightly. Make sure your tailbone reaches straight back with weight in the heels of the feet. One more on each side. Big inhale through the middle. Let's make sure we're warming up the I was gonna say the ribs, but yes, but also mostly the lungs. One arm up, side bending over, and then a big reach. Up, over, a big reach. Reach and stretch. Okay, last one. Hips forward. And then standing tall, rotate your upper body right to left. So we're swinging the arms, and the alignment here is key. The weight is in the heels. Make sure the crown of the head is directly over your tailbone. So absolutely no slouching on this one. We want that rotation from a tall spine. One more on each side, and then come straight back to the middle. We're gonna pick up the band and get right into the glute activation with a side step. So if you can step in, keep the band over the ankles, and then with your feet at hip width apart or as wide as you need to start so that there's some tension on the band. And we're gonna just take one leg and reach it to the side. Thank you. So body weight on that heel, lift the chest, abs tight, and then kick to the side. So if I'm really lazy, or if the band is too tight, I'm gonna be leaning over this way. We're trying to stay as vertical as possible. So slight bend in that standing knee will help the muscles on this side fire up even more. And we're gonna do just another 10 seconds worth of kicks here. So bringing the abs in super tight, they're already working for us. And then the other side. Okay, so it's funny because watching this, of course it looks like there's not all that much happening. But when you're doing it, when you're in the body, you can feel a lot going on. Plus just focusing on the balance is good. So a lot happening. Body pulls in, so the body weighs over the heel of the foot. Keeping the shoulders relaxed, so trying not to shrug the shoulders while we're working on the balance. Last 10 seconds here. Maybe you're starting to notice if one side is a little bit stronger than the other side. Okay, then over on the other leg again. Now we're gonna kick straight back. So bring the arms up. See if you can lean body weight into the heel of the foot and then kick back. So both knees are unlocked and kicking back, kicking back. So we're maintaining tension on the band the entire time. Good, shoulders are relaxed. The entire foot on that standing leg is glued to the floor, but we're heavy in the heel of the foot and squeezing from this glute. Good, primarily it's the standing leg doing all the work. 3, 2, 1, and then switching to the other side. Good, right away. So really waking up the glutes all around the hip muscle. Having the arms up is just a way of helping to keep the shoulders down and back and the chest up. Trying to kick back as far on this side as we did on the other side. Good. Lifting up through the crown of the head. Heavy in the heel, 10 seconds. And even if it's starting to really burn, we're still trying to squeeze, work our way through it, these tiny muscles. 3, 2, 1. Woo! Okay, bring the band up to your knees. We're gonna add in some squats. So this will feel good because we'll get some of the bigger muscles doing some work here. We're gonna come down for a squat, pushing the knees out into the band and then actually pushing beyond the band and come back up. So we're down, open, and then up. At the top, try to get a full hip extension where you're actually tucking the tailbone under and squeezing the glutes at the top. All these little subtle adjustments make a big difference. If you have a weight, you could take it here in your arms. Good, abs are super tight. Really important at the bottom of the squat that your back is totally flat. So the shoulders are back. Tailbone is reaching back with weight in the heels. This one we're gonna hold at the bottom and just repeat the knees. So we're opening the knees as wide as we can without having the big toe lift off the floor. If you're really tight in your hips, maybe that's a little bit of a smaller move. Hang in there. Things should be burning pretty good now in the hips. Oh, wow. 5 seconds. Fight for it. And inhale, come up. Excellent. We're going to do a double step. So keep the band up here on the knees. Step, step. Your biggest steps, just 2 steps, without having the head travel away from the alignment over the belly button. You have your biggest possible steps. Keeping tension on the band the whole time. We've got another 10 seconds here. Even here, body weight stays in the heels, leaning back. Notice that the knees stay bent the entire time. We're in like a half squat. 3, 2, 1. And then come right down to the floor, keeping the band on your knees, just above the knees. We're in a plank position. And we're gonna hold super strong, flat back. Abs in tight, chin to the neck. Toe tap right, and then toe tap left. So you should be able to get a fairly big range of motion because the band is up so high. So the legs are straight. Got it. Good. While you're doing this, take a look at the elbow creases on the inside. You want them facing each other toward the middle. Try not to let those elbow creases roll forward to the front. Let them turn in slightly. One more on each side. And then coming down to the knees, turn over on your back. Okay, again, the band can stay right where it is. Feet go hip width apart. Roll up till the hips are off the floor. We're in a bridge. We're gonna push the knees out as wide as we can and then pulse from there. This is gonna be 30 seconds of pulsing from here. The real focus today, of course, this is butts and guts. There's so many different ways to have a great butts and guts class, and the one that what we're focusing on today is the smaller stabilizer muscles. And the ironic thing is, the stronger, the more muscular you are in your larger muscles, glutes, hamstrings, quads, the harder these smaller stabilizing exercises are. So if you're finding that things are burning a lot more than usual, that is why. 10 seconds. Okay, now try to stay wider and make it smaller and faster. 3, 2, 1. All the way back in. And then coming up to standing again. So we're going to keep the band up above the knees, starting with one leg in the back. So we're like in this sort of a lunge position. Come down and try to make a tabletop out of your front thigh. So we're going to reach the knee or the toe forward and then back. So we're doing the Charleston. I am not going to be teaching any dance lessons, that's for sure. But we're toe tapping forward and back, trying to maintain as much of a tabletop in that front thigh as possible. This is one of our classic dynamo moves actually, but works really great with the band on the thigh as well. 5, 4. And by really great, I mean it burns like hell. 2, 1, and we're switching sides. Call this the butt blaster in Dynamo. All right, so again, foot goes back, come down low. Try to get tabletop position on that front foot, toe forward, toe back. Good, add the arms. We're trying to make the biggest move possible. As much body weight as you can in the heel of your standing foot and really stick the butt back. We're sitting low the whole time. Good, shoulders are nice and low from the ears. Just trying to stay nice and cool in the upper body while we're burning hot in the lower body. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, come up. Ugh. And we're going back down on the floor, but from the hands. So joining me here, similar movement, but this time we're going to take the knee to the elbow wide. So if you bring it too close, it's going to go up a little bit higher. And we'll do 2 rounds. This will be the easiest round where the band is above the knees. So just bringing it forward about an inch towards the outside of the elbow. So right knee, right elbow, left knee, left elbow. Good, and speaking of elbows, again, double check. You want the inner elbow creases facing each other on the inside. 5 seconds. Oh, see there, I lifted my knee too high. That band is rolling up. And coming down on the knees. Turning over again, but we're gonna bring the band to the feet. Okay, we're gonna try and keep this workout at a fast pace so we're getting some cardio benefits as well. All right, so now the band is over the feet, over the shoelaces. Hands behind the head, bicycle crunches. So kicking out through one leg, twisting the elbow to the opposite knee, and then switch. To get even more of those outer glutes involved, try to keep your band nice and wide the entire time. And slow the motion down. I know you could go faster, but in this case, faster is not going to give you any more abdominal strength and power. It's going slow, creating more time under tension in the oblique ab muscles and those outer glutes. 10 seconds left. Just try to keep a nice, slow, smooth, continuous movement here. 3, 2, 1, and we're going to turn over with the band still over the feet. Okay, are you still with me? And then band over the feet, coming back up to a plank position, and this is that second set of knees to elbows, which is going to be harder because there's going to be more resistance. This time I want you to pull the knee as close as you can to the elbow. Same side, left elbow or left foot to left elbow. Right knee rather to right elbow, knee to elbow. It's burning so much that my anatomy is getting confused. Last 5 seconds. Okay, and if you did that right, that was all guts pretty much, right? On our back again. Okay, so for some more ab work, again with the band over your feet, bend your knees at about 90 degrees, bring your hands behind your head, head is lifted the whole time. We're gonna kick out through the right leg and then pump the right leg down. Try to keep your left knee bent at 90 and not moving. So I'm not keeping it perfectly still, but I am trying. Pushing down with the foot. Good, at the same time, belly button is pulling in and down towards the spine. Sternum is pulling in and down towards the spine. 3, 2, 1, and then switch legs. Oh my God. Ugh. Good, so that knee should be right over the hip joint if possible. The ankle right across from the knee the whole time if possible. Oh, 10 seconds left. Good, try not to let that lower back arch as the leg is going down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! Oh my goodness. Let's bring that band back over the ankles and come up to standing. It's time to get back into those glutes a little bit here. So actually, I'm going to change my mind on that. Bring the band up to your knees, just above the knees. Holding a low squat, hands up in front again, and mostly just to help the shoulders relax down your back. We're going to toe tap to the right continuously for 30 seconds. So again, trying to keep a tabletop thigh, but instead of reaching that leg forward and back like the Charles did, now we're bringing the toe tap to the side. Shoulders back more. Tailbone tilting behind you and up towards the ceiling more. Nice flat spine. Hinged at the hip, heavy in that standing heel. 10 seconds. Oh gosh. Really feeling this. 3, 2, 1. Okay, other side. Good. Make sure that the standing knee is keeping alignment over the ankle. And I'm just going to show you from the side that we're really trying to keep this shin vertical. So if you're not sure, just lean back into the heel more. Of course, that's going to fire up even more of the glutes, and it's going to feel terrible. And that's also how you're going to know you're doing it right. And it's time well spent building the strength in the muscle, and of course, then by which way also the bones. Bones. Most importantly, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, come up. Shake out the legs. Oh my God. Okay, we've got one more. And this is absolutely the last one before we stretch. So we're going to put the band back over the feet. Bring the band back over the feet. And this is the 4-part ab crunches. With the band, we're going to be pushing the feet outward, keeping those outer glutes activated. You're going to know exactly what I'm talking about as soon as we get started. If your lower back needs the support, or if you're just more comfortable to have your arms under your hips, feel free to do that. Regardless though, you're going to have your chin down, roll the head first up, with the legs straight, pushing out into the band, legs come up as high as you can, based on the strength or the flexibility of your hamstrings, legs down, and then head down. There is that moment of relaxation at the bottom when you drop your head. Make sure when you're lifting the legs that we're not arching that low back, just keeping the low back neutral. Of course, you could modify this whole thing by supporting your head with your hands when you need to. By bending your knees so that it's not as heavy in the abs or the low back. And then as we mentioned earlier, having your hands under your hips. Last 10 seconds. Try to keep pushing out into the band the entire time, even when your legs are at the bottom. 4, 3, 2, 1, and then bring your knees in. You can toss the band, fling the band, get rid of the band. It's nice gentle stretch for the lower back, bringing the knees in. And then we're going to cross one ankle over the knee and pull that in for a nice deep stretch. Chin towards the neck. Okay, so try to bend your elbows while you're pulling that leg in, giving it a little bit extra pressure. And then gently switch. Right when you think it's a very deep stretch, you need to go just a little bit more than that. Keep breathing. Usually that's the indication if you've gone too far in the stretch is if you're holding your breath. So if you're still breathing easy, but you're feeling a stretch, just go maybe a little bit stronger. Make sure you're still breathing. Nice deep inhales. Okay, uncross the legs. We're gonna do a stretch for the hamstring. I want you to kick your foot up until you can reach the toes. So depending on the tension in your hamstring, you might need to bend your knee a lot for this one. That's totally fine. But now, keeping an arch in your lower back, so a mouse house in your lower back, kick the heel as far away from you as you can. So you want to feel, you're feeling a big stretch either behind the knee or in the middle of the muscle belly or up by the hip. Keep kicking, kicking, kicking. Toes down, heels up. So much more than just holding the foot or pulling the leg. We're also trying to straighten. So it means that the quad muscle is trying to contract. Still going, still going. It's like a whole exercise all on its own. You might be sweating even more than some of the other exercises if you're really tight here. Okay, and then switching to the other side. Let's do it. So 30 seconds continuous kicking and trying to straighten that leg. The goal isn't to straighten it, the goal is to stretch it. So keeping your eyes closed, don't worry about what the leg looks like. You're feeling for that deep stretch. Again, make sure that we're not arching that low, or we are arching the lower back. Not allowing the back to flatten. The reason for that in the hamstring stretch is that we don't want to overstretch the lumbar spine here. We want it to be in the hamstring. So that's why we're making sure to keep a little arch there. I posted a video on Facebook yesterday of this a challenge where you bend forward, you hinge at the hip, and you try to step over a stick. If you're able to see that or try it, if you weren't able to do it, this is the stretch that will help you get there. Just your basic hamstring stretch. It's like just a little wake-up call. Get back to hamstring stretching. The health of our lower back and our knees is really dependent on healthy hamstring flexibility. It doesn't need to be Cirque du Soleil level flexibility, but just like an average amount for the health of the spine. Okay, and then turning over onto our grand finale will be a stretch for the upper abdominals, lying on your front with your elbows bent. Try to get the bottom of your ribs to touch the floor. And then from there, pull forward, lengthening the muscle and adding the breath. Nice deep inhale. One more time. You want to feel that stretch right in those upper abdominals. Good. Bring the hands under the shoulders. Tuck the feet under. Coming back up to standing. Good job. Happy holidays.